Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Queen Creek, Arizona, and I'd like
This
to
webinar is being recorded.
call our State Transportation Board meeting to order. We will ask Floyd Rorick to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Floyd. Karen, would you please conduct the roll call of the board?
Chair Daniels,
Present.
Vice Chair Maxwell,
Present.
Board Member Howard,
Present.
Board Member Peshtakai,
Here.
Board Member Bracker,
Present.
Board Member Hermosillo,
Present.
and Board Member Elders.
Madam Chair, Board Member Elters is traveling and unable to attend. He will not even be able to attend remotely.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum, you may proceed.
Thank you. Very grateful to be here in Queen Creek in your beautiful facilities here. These are relatively new, and we're very grateful for the clear mics and the technology that's allowing everyone to participate from all over. Very grateful for the hospitality and support of Queen Creek, and grateful again for the outline of projects that are needed and necessary in this community. Very helpful for us as a board to see that firsthand. Does any other board member wish to make any opening comments or remarks?
You know I will.
Please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I just want to say thank you also. It was great talking with the mayor this morning about it, and about that she was glad to see that we're coming to Queen Creek. And I told her when Queen Creek hardly existed when I started pilot training up the road at the old Williams Air Force Base in '84. And it's just been amazing watching the town grow and watching everything build. And I reference Queen Creek a lot when I talk to other communities about the need to incorporate, because you're doing it right, you're successful. This facility alone kind of shows what you can do when you do things correctly, and it's really an amazing sight. I'm glad we're here, glad to hear more about and learn more about what your transportation requirements are, and I appreciate the support.
Thank you, guys. Anyone else? Okay. Floyd, could you please proceed with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act?
Yes, Madam Chair. Pursuant to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Americans with Disability Act, the Arizona State Transportation Board and ADOT do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, or disability. No person will be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefit of, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under any Arizona State Transportation Board or ADOT program or activity. To assist in measuring the public's participation, we ask each individual to please complete an online self-identification survey, and the link to that survey is on the agenda. For those in person, please fill out a survey card located at the entrance to the meeting room and leave the cards there. We will pick them up after the meeting. By completing this survey, ADOT will be able to determine who attends this public meetings and how the department can improve participation. The survey will also help ADOT fulfill federal reporting requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Floyd. We'll proceed with our call to the audience, and our first individual to speak today is Mayor Julia Wheatley from the town of Queen Creek. Mayor, again, thanks for hosting us.
Good morning. It's kind of fun to be on this side. Chairwoman Daniels, members of the State Transportation Board, welcome to Queen Creek. It is so fantastic to have you here, and just really appreciate you recognizing all of the time you devote to the great state of Arizona and your time to drive to all of these communities, especially this time of year, does not go unnoticed, and we are so grateful for that dedication you have and so appreciative. I really can't think of a better place to host a meeting about transportation than in Queen Creek. Always one of the fastest growing communities across the state. Just a couple days ago, I was doing an interview we were ranked second biggest boomtown across the country based on population percentage growth, and we truly are booming. 88,000 residents here in Queen Creek, and then of course our neighbors to the south here, newly incorporated Santan Valley with over 100,000 residents. And so Transportation is always top of mind. We just finished our citizen survey, and with all of the great things we're doing to build a thriving community, secure future, safety, all of these things, transportation is always top of the list for our residents, and it's just so important. While we've been able to make a lot of improvements over the years, we cannot wait for my favorite thing to talk about, which is the permanent construction of State Route 24 and the extension of that to Ironwood Road starting next year in 2026. We still have a lot of work to do, most notably on our north-south connection point. This includes the planned Central Arizona Pinal Parkway aligned with the extension of the State Route 24 and headed south along the canal with Phase 1 to Ocotillo Road. The parkway, which is planned by Pinal County, will serve as an important reliever to many of our arterials today, including Ironwood Road. We've also taken the lead on improvements to Ironwood Road and are working closely with ADOT on the final design of the State Route 24 and Ironwood at-grade interchange to service over 30,000 vehicles per day. We believe this design will provide the temporary relief necessary until the time in which a bridge further east to the canal occurs within our 4,200 acres of state trust land. The trust land is a key opportunity for us to continue our partnership with ADOT and with the state, as that area is largely planned for industrial and commercial development, and of course is home to LG Energy Solution, the first battery manufacturing plant of its kind in the nation. Transportation funding for Pinal County portion of Queen Creek is definitely a challenge. As you likely know, there's no dedicated sales tax in this region as we have in Maricopa County, and even if it were in place, the revenues would pale in comparison to the needs that are in that area of the county. This is ultimately why we've looked to the state legislature, but as their budget's forecasts continue to be negative, we will have to be creative and seek out additional opportunities working with you all. Lastly, I would be remiss if I did not mention the intersection of Sossaman and Germain. This Proposition 479 plan project is the one we get the most emails about. The intersection itself is only a few miles south of Mesa Gateway Airport and truly in no man's land. With Maricopa County, the City of Mesa, Union Pacific Railroad all sharing the closest jurisdiction in this area. The town has taken the lead on the necessary redesign of this intersection and planning to bring it forward to the Corporation Commission early next year due to the significant impact to our residents. Again, I want to say thank you for being here and for taking your time to drive through our community, and hopefully you can see a few of those projects that we have mapped out that we have given for you. If you have any questions, need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or any staff here. And again, we really appreciate you coming to Queen Creek and all the work. I know it can be a thankless job sometimes, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you do and your dedication to the state of Arizona. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I imagine this is the last time you'll get together before the end of the year, so Happy New Year's. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Your vision for your community and for the region is impressive, so thank you for sharing some of that with us today. Pinal County Supervisor Vitiello, and on deck will be Mayor Nancy Smith.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, staff members, board members. Thank you for being here in this wonderful chamber. I've been attending meetings here, and it is an awesome chamber, and I love coming here because it's so beautiful. The first thing I want to say is thank you for the 347. I know how hard and how many years everybody's been working on the 347 north of the city. Just want to put a little jingle in your ear. There is a southern portion that I need to work on. With 79,000 homes planned in the southern portion of the Maricopa, that's going to start becoming an issue. And we are, as Pinal County is looking at this, we need to figure out how we're going to do it. We know it took 20 years to get 347 North fixed. But again, patience. I tell everybody it's patience. It's hard work, dedication from the board, and a lot of money. So I just wanted to put that little bit of a jingle in your ear, because there's going to be a few Maricopa people coming up to speak about other things in the city of Maricopa that I also support. But I also want Pinal County residents to know that I'm here to support all of Pinal County, not just the southern portion, the western portion that I represent in District 1. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to speak to you, and I just wanted to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless you for what you do, because it is a thankless job. And I'm glad we have hardworking people like yourself here to do it and understand where we come from. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Supervisor. Mayor Nancy Smith, and on deck will be Bill Robertson.
Hi, thank you all for the opportunity to speak. Today I want to speak on, obviously, 347 in regards to some of the great things that are happening. Thank you, Director Toth, for the partnership in regards to your design team and working with the City of Maricopa. Things are moving along very nicely on that project. So we're excited about that. The partnership is beautiful. One element that I wanted to talk about is on your agenda today, and I believe it might be on consent, is the right-of-way for the Riggs Road overpass. That's very important to us, and so we're excited to see that on there. Just any movement at all is really wonderful, and I'm just excited about that. We also have 2 other projects within our city that we have major complaints about, and so I'm excited about those projects as well. One thing I wanted to share with you is that we were asked to give a presentation on 347 to Senator Farnsworth Committee, Transportation Committee. And it was a joy to give that presentation, but what it did, Senator Farnsworth is a wonderful transportation advocate, and he wanted to know more about how to connect with what the needs are in terms of statewide. So Ted, I know you've been actually meeting with some of our legislators, and I told him I would mention this to you and connect you with Senator Farnsworth, because he's very excited to learn more from that perspective. So I thought that was really exciting news. But really just thank you for the project that's moving forward. Thank you for the work. And thank you for partnering with the City of Maricopa with the design so that we understand better what's happening there. So I appreciate you all. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mayor. Bill Robertson, and on deck will be Kevin Beastie.
Good morning, Chairman Daniels and the board. My name is Bill Robertson. I'm a resident of the City of Maricopa. I also serve on the City Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to take the opportunity to address you a little bit more about 347 and thank you for the hard work. It's been a long road, and the cooperation that has taken place with the director, their staff at ADOT, and yourself is remarkable. Great progress, and soon to celebrate great improvements at 347, hopefully this coming year. The planning and design process is well underway, and that we are grateful. There is one element of the planning and design that does kind of fall unlogical to me, and I thought I would just raise the issue for future consideration. It seems that the priority and emphasis on the safety of the 2 intersections, Cement Plant Road, aka Mammoth Road, and Casablanca, seem to be reversed. The traffic count and the accident count for Casablanca far exceeds that of the Cement Plant Road. Cement Plant Road, mind you, is a private road into a private business owned and operated by the Gila River Indian community, and only operates generally during the daytime hours where there's very little traffic, if none, at night. As opposed to Casablanca, which is a 24/7 lifeline actually for those of us in Maricopa for when 347 is closed or locked down, or even for DPS when Interstate 10 is closed and shut down. They ship people through Casablanca over to 347 back down to Casa Grande. So it is a lifeline for us. So the fact that Mammoth is getting the attention for possible overpass or underpass in the design process, and very little is being done at Casablanca, seems to be reversed to me. I understand that the train has left the station, and that we do appreciate the cooperation and involvement of our community neighbors at the Gila River Indian community. They have contributed lots to this project, and I understand their sovereign authority and their wishes. But I wanted to just put it on the table that if another opportunity comes up to relook at the Casablanca intersection for additional improvements. Maybe set it up during the initial design where improvements later could be made or added at a later date, make that part of the initial design. So that's important to us to keep that on the radar. That I think we missed the target, to be honest with you, when you talk about the safety portion of it. The emphasis is really on the wrong intersection. So I understand the involvement of our community partners at Gila River, and I respect their sovereignty. Let's just keep it on the radar for future opportunities. That's basically what I'm asking for. There may be other opportunities in the design phase or maybe even down the road a little bit further. So once again, thank you for your work. Thank you for meeting with us regularly and often. We often speak to you. I think we've given you a little bit of a break in the last several months, and that's good. So with that, I will end my comments with that, but I would also like to thank Floyd for his over 35 years of service with the state of Arizona on your upcoming retirement, and wish you well in your future endeavors.
Bill. Don't clap. I'm old enough. I feel old enough. I don't need to be reminded. Thank you.
Full security.
Kevin, you're up with Vice Mayor Manfredi on deck.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, Director Toth. Kevin Beastie for the record, and I'm here today on behalf of Freeport-McMoRan. And just to give a quick update on a project that we've been partnering with Director Toth and the department. Just real quickly, about a year and a half ago, we were getting a lot of concerns from the community about safety on 191. And recognizing that 191 is primarily used by members of the community, and we wanted to see if we could partner on doing some sort of education and awareness campaign. Deputy Director Byers launched a roadway safety assessment. We came up with some good observations on what was going on. Of course, it's driver behavior, which we face everywhere. So we've been working with the department to identify those and to see if we can launch a campaign within the company and with the community to educate them more on this. So this week we posted Freeport with partnering with the Southeast District, posting safety signs with messages telling people to slow down and that families live here and let's all get home safely. And so I just want to recognize the Southeast District. We were a little bit delayed in our part getting the necessary paperwork in, but the Southeast District permitting office, particularly Susan Puzas and Abby Jalloway, were amazing. Just stellar customer service, and so I want to just publicly thank them. Todd Emery and Brian Jarvis were also very instrumental in coordinating with us, and then I also want to give a shout out to the communications team, which I hold very near and dear to my heart from when I was with ADOT, and Caroline Carpenter and Doug Pacey, who I call the message master, because a lot of those clever signs you see up on the freeway, that's Mr. Pacey's doing. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to just thank Director Toth and their leadership for partnering with us on this. And Board Member Daniels, wishing you all the best in the next season, and Board Member Maxwell, look forward to working with you. So thank you all, Merry Christmas, and let's do our part to be safe out there, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Manfredi, and then we have two individuals online that will call in.
Thank you so much for having us today. We've been pushing and pushing it. It's kind of weird coming here and not asking for something. That's the hard part. It's like the 347 is funded. It's fully funded. Everybody keeps talking about it. But today I wanted to say thank you so much to the design team, the staff, everybody that's working so hard, and especially with the communication that we've had within the city and involving us. Everybody realizes that this is a road outside of city limits. It's really everything can happen without us being involved, right? But the fact that you involve us in the discussions, that's what we want to have. Is we want to be involved and we want to understand what's happening. Bill made a couple great comments about Casablanca Road, and we'd love to see an overpass there. But I just remembered that it's not in Pinal County. I was going to ask the supervisor for another big check. We need to see, hopefully, something at Casablanca, and if it doesn't happen with this project, in the next project or next phase of a project. What's happening with Riggs Road and is important on today's agenda, as well as when you look at the pre-construction bids that have gone out. It's just so exciting to hear what's happening and understand that this is something where next year, 2026, all of us, whether you're on the board still or not, whatever it is, are going to be standing on a 347 and with a shovel and telling everybody, this is what happens when you work together and you understand the needs that are happening and coming together instead of just asking, working together on something. It's very important. Thank you all for everything you do. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and drive safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice. Okay, if we can go to Coconino County Supervisor Geronimo Vasquez, who's online, and Ron Ingrami will be on deck.
Brandy, I know he's logged in as well, but I think he might be also one of those people who's on a phone call. So if you see a number pop up.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
Please raise your hand again.
All right, let's go to Ron Ingrame.
I sent it.
Oh, you did, okay.
Brandy's you
I'm
unmuted?
unmuting you. I've unmuted him. I believe you have to hit *6 to unmute yourself.
Looks like he dropped off. Can we go to Mr. Ingrami?
Yes. Mr. Ingrami, please raise your hand.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Well, it looks like you unmuted both of them.
Yeah, it looks like they're both unmuted.
Ron, if you could hang tight for just a second, we'll come back to you, Ron.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
We'll have
Vasquez,
Mr. Vasquez, would you like to start your comments over so we can hear you?
Yes, thank you, Chair, members of the board. My name is Geronimo Vasquez. I'm Coconino County Board of Supervisor for District 2. I'm on the Metro Plan Board, RTAC Board, and Mountain Line Board. I'm here today to talk about the Metro Plan Region's priority project on the state highway system, US 180 safety improvement. That will make it easier for our community members to get home safely on one of our region's highest track roadways. There are currently no sidewalks leading to schools and no crossings from residential areas to those schools and parks on the other side of the road. In fact, there are no signals or lighting crossings for over 2 miles in this core area of Flagstaff. This corridor is the mayor's #1 transportation complaint for community members. In 2018 to 2022, ADOT conducted a corridor master plan alongside partners from 9 agencies to identify improvements. This request is to implement the findings of that effort. Metro Plan's members, Coconino County, the City of Flagstaff, Mountain Lion, and MAU held a workshop to prioritize a #1 need on the state highway system so that we could so clearly communicate it to ADOT. All the partners unanimously voted on this project as our #1 need. Metro Plan partners are stepping up to help, moving components of ADOT's US 180 corridor master plan forward on their own at a cost of $3 million. We are asking ADOT to step up to finish implementing the plan for an estimated $5.6 million. We urge you to do a 180 to improve the US 180 project in the next update to the 5-year capital plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. Ron, you're up.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you, ADOT Board, for the opportunity to speak today about State Route 347.
Once again, I want to reiterate my sincere thanks for the outstanding decisions made at the Payson board meeting. Since that meeting, communications regarding the progress of this project has been excellent. The flyover upgrade was wonderful news, and it appears that we are even ahead of schedule. Woohoo! Kudos to the ADOT team for that progress. As I mentioned during my public input last month, I'm still very interested in understanding how Mammoth Way, also known as Cement Plant Road, was selected to receive an upgrade from an intersection to a grade separation. In 2024, there were 72 reported accidents at Casablanca, which was 3 times the number of accidents at Cement Plant Road. Given the difference in accident history, I'm hoping to better understand the factors that led Mammoth to be selected ahead of Casablanca. Specifically, I would appreciate insight on how decisions like this are evaluated and who ultimately makes that determination. Having clarity on the process would be very helpful for the community. I, along with many in the community, remain eager to work collaboratively with ADOT, provide input when helpful, and better understand how these important safety decisions are prioritized. As always, I truly appreciate the challenges you face and the difficult decisions you must make with limited resources. Thank you for your continued efforts, transparency, and commitment to improving safety and mobility along State Route 347. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And those comments were noted last month as well. Can we ensure that someone from ADOT staff maybe creates a one-pager for the community on the logic behind those, yes ma'am, decisions? Thank you so much. I can't see you, Director Tom.
I know,
It's making
it's-
me kind of sad. I can't tell if it's you or me.
It's both, I think.
Any other requests to speak that we may have missed, Floyd?
Madam Chair, we have not received any others.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Brandy, for helping us with the online attendees and participants. We'll move now to item 1, our director's report, and ask Director Toth to present to us.
Good morning, and thank you to the town of Queen Creek for welcoming us. We definitely appreciate your hospitality. I have a few agency highlights to share today. Next slide, please. So as I shared in September, we have embarked on a statewide listening tour as a component of our long-range transportation planning process. And we have several goals for this tour. We really want to foster an inviting format that encourages conversation and allows stakeholders to feel heard. We also want to seek out and engage ambassadors from across the state who can act as advocates for transportation outside of just ADOT's team. And finally, we really want the listening tour to help us establish a state vision for transportation that's really derived from that grassroots process. And this is what will drive the production of the long-range transportation plan. So since we're a few months into the tour, let me just show you where we've been and where we're headed. In addition to what you see on the screen for upcoming sessions, we're also in the process of scheduling sessions in about 24 other locations across the state. As you'll remember, we kicked this off at the Transportation Policy Summit in Sierra Vista, and we have had a lot of interest in appreciation in terms of our ability to go out there and really, truly, it's a listening tour. It is not a telling tour. We generally go out and we show plans and get information back, and we are a blank slate and really want to hear what is important to the community and how they use the transportation system. Next slide, please. As for what we're hearing so far, pavement condition is definitely the prominent theme. Safety is also a priority for everyone. Comments have focused on the rural roads needing intersection control, widening shoulders, turning lanes, and also passing lanes. People continue to comment that public transportation to move vulnerable users such as elderly, disabled, veterans, and youth should also be a part of that statewide vision. The context sensitivity has come up, especially in relation to smaller communities where the state routes act as main thoroughfares through their communities. We've also heard that tourism and outdoor recreation are major economic drivers. along with comments about the need to protect our natural resources, including dark skies. Back to safety, we've also heard that education and enforcement, as you just heard from Mr. Bisi, are needed because driver behavior is really problematic. And for some, ADOT's government bureaucracy is seen as a barrier, so we're glad we're hearing those comments as well so that we can improve our internal processes. There's also questions we're hearing about how the transportation system is paid for, why there isn't more money to meet the needs of these communities. So there's certainly been a lot of great feedback, and we're going to keep listening. Right now we're focused mainly on the stakeholders such as elected officials, tribal governments, NPOs, industry leaders, and the municipalities. But we're going to be expanding that to the public, the traveling public in the spring. Really looking forward to hearing their vision as well. So after that, we will solidify that vision based on what we have heard. We envision that last phase to include some workshops for statewide stakeholder and public input. So I'm really excited about implementing a very unique and transformative component to our process. We have not done this before, and it's been really interesting getting that communication back and listening to the comments coming in. I hope it will bring a new vision for transportation within Arizona. And moving on, it's the holiday season. Next slide, please. There we go. It's holiday travel season, as everybody knows, and I just want to encourage everyone to be safe out there. That really means keeping your eyes on the road, and you're putting your phone down and don't drive distracted. Last month, I talked a little bit about the winter readiness and how to prepare for potential snow and ice on the roads. And today I just want to quickly add that by reminding everyone to connect with ADOT for travel information before they hit the road. So you can visit az511.gov or dial 511 for updated road and weather conditions. So we have a very active presence on social media. If you don't already follow us, that's also a great way to stay connected and better understand what the conditions of the roadways are. So with that, I will turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Tom. All right, we will move on. Does anybody have any questions for Director Tom?
I just have a quick comment.
Please.
So we are, the listening tour is coming to Grand County on the 19th of January, and staff has done an amazing job at rallying the troops. We've got a lot of interest from many different areas. And I feel like in rural Arizona, when we have the 5-year plan and the comments, I think that a lot of the rural Arizonans feel like what they have to say really doesn't matter. The number one comment I get, well, it all goes to MAG and, the metro areas anyways, and it doesn't. We listen. And so I really think this is a great thing to bring those people out to the table. It matters. And I really think that rural Arizonans are learning that it matters and that ADOT does listen to what they have to say and they act upon it. So thank you very much, and please thank the staff.
Just to tag on to that, actually, Board Member Howard, because I think you bring up a valuable point. There is a great perception across the state about the inequity of the funding as it relates to, I think one of the things we just have to continually remind people, and some will accept it and others will not as a reason, but Maricopa County has taxed themselves for a generation now in order to pay for improvements, and it's not enough. It will never have enough to provide for all of the needs, but there is a self-taxing mechanism that exists, and Maricopa has now taxed themselves as well at a city level, and so I think it's just an important component of the larger funding structure. You guys probably all remember Ken Bennett's Kleenex box explanation of how the state budget worked, and I almost feel like we need a modern day Kleenex box version. I hate to see anybody going to any listening sessions with giant boxes of tissue anymore, but there's got to be some other way for us to visually explain to people how the budget works, because numbers on a slide just don't work.
And if I may, it's the perception, that we need to change that perception.
I'm Chair. It's a great topic, and I've got one question and then just a couple comments on the listening tours. Beverly, piggyback on what you're saying. How's the turnout been? I mean, we staff puts a lot of work. You do a lot of driving. You're going out to see the people. What kind of response do we see?
It has been amazing. It really has. We're getting people that we don't normally reach, community leaders, chambers of commerce. I mean, it's just been really incredible, the participation that and the wanting. I mean, we're constantly getting calls, hey, can you come out here? Can you come out here? So it has been very good, and we are doing a lot of that education. There are a lot of questions about funding and how it works, and so it's a great opportunity for us to share that and for people to better understand where that funding is coming from.
And Madam Chair, the only thing I'd like to add to it is you've already hit on it. It's the challenge we've got in this state is a lack of funding. And everybody goes, oh, well, we don't want to pay more taxes. It doesn't have to be taxes. There's a lot of ways, and I think it's important. I think you're going to see us engage more with the legislature on this idea. But the problem is the funding that was established in '91 is not paying for as many road repairs as it would have back in '91, and it's also, we're adding lane miles. The growth doesn't stop. The roads keep getting added throughout the state. And it's also important to make sure we're showing on the 5-year plan. 50% of it's greater. It's very, you've got a pie chart and it kind of shows how much that everybody's getting. Why it seems like perhaps Maricopa, well, particularly Maricopa being 3 generations in, but Maricopa County and Pima County get more, it's because of that self-taxing thing. And we're trying to, for Pima County, we've got our, March 10th is going to be our vote for our continued 20-year self-taxing, self-investment in the region, as I like to say. It's our self-investment in the region. And if that doesn't go down, then it's going to get even tighter. I mean, and so we've got to address the big issue, but we've also got to make sure everybody understands how it works, because we need everybody's voice addressed in that big issue. Everybody wants to take a part of what we've got, and the fact of the matter is there's not enough. And we need to start letting our elected officials know. If infrastructure is that important to us, which I believe it is. I believe it's one of those core things. Citizens get upset when the roads they're driving on are not good or effective, or they get stuck in jams. So we've got to start letting those communities, and I know you can't do it, but it's one of our policy goals is that we can advocate. So that's what I'm doing, advocating to get everybody involved and letting your legislators know.
Yes, Board Member Pashapek.
Madam Chair, thank you. I have a question for Director Todd. I know you said it's a listening tour, not a telling tour, and I like that. And also, I think one of the things, as you bring in the questions and what the needs and the response are from the community, I think one of the things, as I go out in my communities, there is a lack of education and information of funding and the layers of jurisdiction, and how there's not just one giant pot that we reach into, that these things have to be coordinated, and the different layers of government that come together to build an entire road. And I hope there is a plan to maybe not do a educational tour like your listening tour, but some kind of very stick figure drawing for folks to go on to ADOT and respond saying, this is what were questions, and this is, instead of doing a fact sheet, just something really simple, because as I go out into the community, that becomes you can't educate one person at a time through millions of people. But so I just wanted to make that one comment, and I don't know if there's any plans for something like that. But thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Director.
Board Member Peschlikai. Do you want to? Yes, Chair and Board Member Peschlikai, we will take a look at that and see what we are able to do during the public outreach component of it. Board Member Bracker is refusing to speak on this topic. No, just kidding. You don't have to. I'm just giving you an option.
I think it's all been said, but I do like hearing the comments from Director Toth. We're talking about pavement conditions, we're talking about shoulders, we're talking about turning lanes. These are all the things that we hear in rural Arizona. And the challenge is when you add a half-cent sales tax in rural Arizona, you might generate $2 million a year. Might. It's just a real challenge. And as Vice Chair Maxwell said, when we're trying to deal with a funding stream that was developed in 1991, that's 11 years after I graduated high school. Actually 10 years after I graduated high school. And you're trying to preserve what we have, and you're trying to meet the growth, which is an incredible amount of growth in the state of Arizona. There's just no money to do it. And every dollar that you invest in transportation, you're going to get $3.50 back in economic growth. This is not rocket science. This is the stuff that the economists are telling us, so it would be really nice if we could somehow, and this board can't do it alone, it has to come from constituents. Tell your legislators they really need to put a priority on transportation, that you're willing to pay for it. That the fact that the city of Maricopa was willing to tax their constituents and in a very conservative area of the state, and the constituents accepted it, that's your sign, that's your tell. As if you're at the gambling table, that's your tell. It's accepted. People will pay for this because they use it every day. So I didn't have anything to say, Chair Dan, but
I feel like we should all go around the room and everyone can say where they were and what they were doing in 1991 when the tax passed. I was 12 making 75 cents an hour babysitting. So.
We don't need to go around the room and ask those questions.
I think it sounds fun. Maybe we'll have a meeting after the meeting. All right. Thank you all. Board Member Hermosillo, would you like to make any comments? I do not want to leave you out if you're...
No, I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate your service so much. Thank you thank you for guiding us, and I look forward to you in your next chapter. And that's all I have for today, but I'm looking forward to serving alongside everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Hermosillo. I think that concludes the director's report, and I did see our attorney in the audience eyeballing us. I think we might have been slightly off topic, but I did think we captured, maybe we were moving up agenda item 12, which is suggestions for future board meetings. We'll just put it under that. Okay, we will move now to item 2, our Central District report, and invite our District Administrator, Randy Everett, to come educate us.
Okay. Floyd, do you have you can do it for me?
Chuck will, just tell them.
Chuck, you'll do it? Okay, perfect. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Board. Yes, go ahead and start, Chuck. We are a small group, obviously, in the construction area in Central District, but we are super busy. This is who leads the construction piece of Central District. First project that we've got going right now is our I-17. Not our biggest project, but it is a very important project because it wraps up what will be the last of the asphalt and or concrete from about Dunlap all the way up to Black Canyon City. So we've got good pavement now in place after this project is completed. About 75% completed, so we should finish that in early part of next year. Go ahead, Chuck. 101, Princess de Chelly, we are done. We really are out there doing a little bit of final cleanup, but that one should be done at the beginning of next year. FNF has done a really nice job with that project, and we are wrapping it up. Next, please. 101, so these are the ones I came to you last time and said they were just starting out. Well, we have gone a long way in that time. We're about 60% done with our 101, 17 to 75th. That is Kaufman Specialties out there. About 60% done right now. So that one is on time, on budget. It's doing very well. We should finish that one in spring of 2027. Along with that one is our next one. That's the 202 Santan. That was also just starting up last time I came to see you in spring. That is now almost all 60% as well. On time, on budget. That's Sun Construction doing and CS Construction doing a great job out there. Again, that one should finish up in spring of 2027 as well. Next. 60X. This is the one that we are very excited to give to our partners at MCDOT once it is done. This one is almost done. The challenges have been we are on the outside putting in a lot of accesses into buildings, but that is nearly complete now. So we should finish that one up in about the mid part of next year. Go ahead, check. And then finally, what's happening in our world today is I-10 Gila River Bridge. That's an interesting picture because we have had some flooding in that area through the year this year, but that is about 75% done. That bridge is going well. The construction is good. Police is doing a fantastic job down there, and that should finish in the later part of next year. So what's coming? A lot. So we have got nearly $1 billion on the plate right now, but we should be, at some point next year, we will have about $1.5 billion when all things are together, both coming or starting and leaving. So we've got an immense program in Maricopa, and we are... We have got so much going on, and we need to finish the jobs we have so we can get started with the ones we got coming, which are just amazing amounts. So here's what's coming just in the very short future. I-17, the 303, that's the system-to-system interchange. So that means people do not have to stop anymore from 303 to 17, 17 to 303. It's going to be very nice. It's about a $235 million job. That's going to start next month. So we will have iron on the ground as soon as next month. Police Construction has that. That's a couple-year project, so that should finish in fall of 2028. Next, please. SR 303, Van Buren to NC 85. This is the piece that will in the future tie into the 30 and the west part of the town. This is enormous for the district. It's a $500 million job. It's extremely exciting for us. We are ready for it. It starts the bids open in February, so it will start in about summer of next year, and that should finish in about the spring of 2029. 10110, so 10110, that's the dedicated HOV lane. That also starts, the bids will open in January, so that'll start in the spring of next year. Also about a $300 million job. That should finish in about late 2028. Jackrabbit, this is the big one. We'd like to get this one done. It's a pretty quick job. It'll start somewhere about the summer of 2026, about a $60 million job, and we anticipate that that's just going to be a little bit over a year to finish in the winter of 2027. Then our final one is SR 51, and the reason I bring this one up is because it is also on a pretty major route. Not exactly lots of money, but it is a big job as far as there's going to be a diamond grinding effort out there, and that's from I-10 to Shea. And we should finish that one up in 2026. That is just some of the the things that are coming right now. There's a whole lot more coming. Obviously, the 24 is coming. We've got a whole lot on the plate coming up next year. But these are the ones that are just coming up in the very near future. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Randy. Any questions from the board? Okay, seeing none.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, that moves us to agenda item 3, our consent agenda. Does any member have an item they'd like to have removed from consent for further discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion on our consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Board Member Howard and a second by Vice Chair Maxwell. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries with a unanimous vote. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item 4 and invite Christine Ward to the podium to educate us on our financial status.
Good morning. So I have some parting gifts for you. So let's go to and it starts with an incredibly boring financial.
I thought you were going to give Ted Maxwell a big pot of money to work with next year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll move on from there. Okay, so this does start off with a very stable report I am happy to give you. In terms of the Highway User Revenue Fund, we're through November, we've got numbers, and we've got about $739 million collected year to date. We're right within target range. Look at the nice little green check mark. I'm happy to report our forecasts are dead on. If we can move on to the individual categories of HERF, nothing significant to report here. You will see a little funkiness in the smallest category, the other category. It represents very, very few actual dollars. We're digging into that. It's some increased permit revenues, and I don't know if we've got a timing issue that's going on, but we're looking at it. Moving on to the Regional Area Road Fund, again, right within target range. With 3 months of data, we got $255 million collected year to date. All is well. Looking into the individual categories, same thing. Nothing significant. We're wonderfully stable and wonderfully boring. If we can go on to the very last slide, in terms of the federal aid program, nothing to report there, but of course next month we will be coming back to you and moving on to the debt financing program. Next month we will be coming back to you. We will be seeking the board's authorization to issue bonds. That's next month's coming attraction that I will not be presenting. So, last parting gifts. Since this is my final report, I wanted to just leave you with a couple of things, a couple of gifts. One of those is financial stability. That is what you are getting. We have got a good financial foundation in the department, and I want to emphasize that will be the springboard for your innovation and creativity going forward. And the second, you've got an exceptional financial team that has supported me through the years, and for which I am deeply thankful, and they are here to continue that financial stability. With that, I thank you for your support over the years, and that concludes my report. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Christine. You have been a gift to ADOT for many, many, many years, and I hope that you have great plans. Would you mind sharing with us what you plan on doing when you have a little more time on your hands?
I will. Okay. Well, I will be hugging a lot of trees, I gotta tell you. I am going out in the middle of nowhere and hug a lot of trees, and after I get my fill of hugging a lot of trees, I've got some trips planned. Probably the biggest one upcoming is probably Japan. So my wife is Japanese. Fortunately, she will be able to handle the translation issues, because I struggle with English. Yeah, we're gonna probably head off to Japan for a period of time.
I just wanted to be able to picture you in retirement, and you've given me a great visual. And again, thank you.
Picture trees.
Trees first, traveling second. I guess. Yes. Any other comments from our board?
Madam Chair. I obviously want to say thank you for a lot of reasons. You've given me a lot of knowledge and dug in very deep on the progress at our financial funding from the state and from others and where we sit. And I'm really disappointed because I thought you weren't done till March, which is maybe true, but you've already figured out how to make it so you're done today, at least with this. Because I was going to suggest bringing you back at the January meeting to give that same presentation that you've so eloquently and put together for us that shows why we're in some of the financial situations we've got. But more importantly, you've made sure that we get every penny we're supposed to get, we get every dollar, we're using it well, it's accounted for. You give a lot of us a lot of confidence that we know the funds are being handled correctly. So don't hurt yourself when you're hugging the trees. And just remember, you always can if you don't understand what somebody's saying, you just look at them and smile. But I want to say thank you again very much, not only for what you've done for the board and for ADOT for the many, many years, but for the 5 years I've been on. I've learned a lot from you financially. Thank you.
Comment if I could, Christine, thank you. You're a professional, very well educated. You're very good at what you do, but you're approachable. I've asked you some pretty odd questions. You do look at me and go, that's a very good question. But you always have an answer. And again, being approachable is the number one thing, I think, for someone of your stature. And you do a great job, and I appreciate you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And I hope you come to Thatcher.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to need a regular fix of olive oil.
I brought you some.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Board Member Kashkai? Madam Chair, thank you, Christine, for all your work, and thank you for training the folks that will be with us here continuing. And then also, I hope the world embraces you in your travels and you enjoy everything. And once you're done with that, I have a sheep herder opening on the reservation, so wanted to make sure I let you know that, and that's another type of enjoyment of life as you journey forward. Thank you so much for all you've done.
Thank
you.
you. All right. Thank you.
Christine? Almost done.
Let's
Hi.
be the center of the board's attention.
No HERF questions?
I've only been on the board a very short time, but I've been working with you for many years. And the one thing I would like to reiterate is approachable and incredibly knowledgeable. And thank you very much for working with communities and working with me and the entities that I've represented. You've been terrific. And I also thought we had a couple more months of you, but I'm sorry to see you leave so quickly. But congratulations and well deserved. And if you're looking for something to do, I could use the CFO at the restaurant.
So you will probably not see much of me, but I am on until March, mid-March, to support the incoming CFO, who actually was supposed to be here today but has pink eye and decided he didn't want to share that with you on his first
So he
visit.
has good judgment already.
Yes, it does. And you'll see Jacob Gable over here. Wave, Jake. Yeah, and he will be the deputy CFO. So you are in incredibly good hands. They will advance this organization. Thank you.
And one more. So we do look forward to the presentation that you mentioned. Right.
That's how we're going to tell if they've actually been trained well. We'll
Yes.
still get that presentation.
Yes.
So.
Thank you, Christine.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, we will move to agenda item 5 and invite Matt. Yep, sometimes they switch on me, so I was double checking to see who was moving. Thank you, Matt. Our multimodal planning division report.
Thank you. Matt Mall, Director for the Multimodal Planning Division. Go ahead, Chuck. So some tribal engagement updates on November 18th and 19th. We held information meetings with the Hopi Tribe and the Navajo Nation about the SR 264 corridor planning study to share the study recommendations with the community. On December 3rd, we held tribal information sessions to introduce the initiative purpose, process, and tribal involvement benefits of Next Move Arizona, which is the actual branding for our listening tour. On December 4th, we held a Hopi Tribe and ADOT partnership meeting covering updates from the Hopi DOT, Hopi Cultural Preservation Office, ADOT divisions, ADOT districts, and the Northern Arizona Council of Governments. And on December 1st, the Hopi Tribe welcomed 2 newly elected leaders, Lamar Kiwama as chairman and Micah Kiwanintoa Sr. as vice chairman. Next slide. The Governor's Office on Tribal Relations will convene the 31st Annual Indian Nations and Tribes Legislative Day event on January 14th at the state capitol. This event pays tribute to the history and culture of the American Indian people and their contributions to the prosperity and cultural diversity of the United States. Event activities include tribal leader keynote addresses, information sessions, and a resource fair. ADOT plans to have an information booth to address inquiries on programs and services. And members of the state legislature, the governor, and other elected officials and state and tribal agency representatives are invited to attend. And that's probably too small for anybody to scan, but the QR code is there. That's my presentation for this month. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions from the board? Okay. We'll move on to agenda item 6. And Iqbal, just to maybe save you a moment, you're providing financial accounting. There were no applications this month.
Correct.
So does any board member have a question for Iqbal on the AZ Smart Grant? Okay. Seeing none, Iqbal, I think we're good to go on this item. Thank you.
All right, so then I can move on to item number 7.
That would be great.
Okay, great. So I'll start with item number 7, and this is Priority Planning Advisory Committee items for discussion and possible action. Today we have 3 categories of projects to present: project modifications, new projects, and airport projects. As usual, I plan to group all categories together under one motion for board's approval. Next slide, please. So I would like to present the proposed changes to FY 2026 through FY 2030 State Transportation Facilities Construction Program. Items 7A through 7.3 project modifications. Next slide. 7D through 7F new projects, and next slide. 7G through 7M airport projects. And for the board's consideration, the requested action is approval of Priority Planning Advisory Committee items 7A through 7M.
Thank you. Any questions from the board on any of these items? All right, we will entertain a motion. We have
Move to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Brecker and a second by Board Member Hermosillo for approval of the projects 7A through 7M. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will go to agenda item 8, our state engineer's report with Audra. So,
Good morning, Madam Chair and board
Can
member.
you pull that microphone right? Yep.
Yeah.
And Mensa, could you introduce yourself, make sure we get that in the record, please?
Yeah. Maisa Hena, I am the Deputy State Engineer, assisting Audra today with item number 8,
Sorry, sure.
and providing the district's update. So, the next slide. Okay, for the Central District, we have multiple projects. We have the South Central.
We don't have to go through them all.
Okay.
Unless any member of the board wishes to look at all of these.
I just have a question on one on this first slide, if I may. Thank you. The WB deck replacement project on I-10. Do we have a schedule of completion on that? I know that the delays are horrendous, up to 2 hours on that interstate. And I'm just wondering if there's a schedule as to when that is going to subside a bit, or a schedule of completion.
Which one? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it'd be the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down on the first slide.
Yeah, the fourth one has a completion date of spring 2026. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know by chance when the delays will lessen, I guess, on the interstate there? I know it's down to 1 lane and a lot of shutdowns between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's a deck replacement, so as soon as they finish the work on the joints mainly, they should be able to, the congestion should be less.
Okay, and what was the month completion on that again? I'm sorry.
I don't have the month.
Okay.
It is spring of 2026.
Okay.
So maybe we are looking for maybe June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Board member, Chair Daniels, Board member Howard, we'll get you some more detailed
Absolutely.
information on that project.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other items that we wish to discuss further as part of this report? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Completed. We'll move to agenda item 9. That's our construction contracts. We have a recommendation from our state engineer, come on up, Robert, for approval or awarding of 9A through 9G, as well as 9I through 9L.
So, Auditor, is that what you're proposing is, do you want to go through those individually, or are you lumping all the awards together, one motion?
We're lumping together
Yeah,
today,
okay.
but looking to the board for any,
Madam Chair, I know there's one that we're was postponing or rejecting. I'd like to cover the ones that are unique, the ones that are straight approval
that's
process.
going to be
everything
H,
looks
M,
good.
and N.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and just have a report on those, and then we'll take the vote afterwards.
The other thing I'd ask is the one that has to do with some of the protests. It's not often we've seen protests, and we've had a couple of those come to our attention between the last board and this board. I'd like any project that we do have a protest, just to explain to us the process.
Perfect, okay. So if you want to provide a note on 9C as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Chuck, we're looking at projects. We'll do the first few slides first with the tables. And then we're looking at projects 9C, 9H, 9M, and 9N, unless otherwise told. Yep, that slide is the first one. Yeah. So good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. It's good to see you all again. Happy holidays. I'll see you more often next year. My name is Audra Merrick. I'm the current ADAT PDO Division Director, and I'm presenting item 9 to you today. We do have 14 contracts on the list for consideration, as we just mentioned, 9A through 9N, as in Nancy. And looking at the bottom of this slide, our monthly totals, you can see that the projects are running 1.4% over the state engineer's estimate for the month. The next slide. And you can see that same demonstration on December there, along with the fiscal year to date. We're looking at 9.6% under. So for December, we're over. I may have said that wrong, by the 1.4%, but for the month, the fiscal year, we're still under. Yeah. And so that, Madam Chair, if I may, I can go ahead and move to item 9C. Okay. Before I start with item 9C, I want to point out with one correction on the slide. Your agenda is complete, so the figures on your agenda are correct. But on the slide, the correction that we'd like to make for the meeting is right now we have a low bid listed as $17,845,460, and the slide should say $17,845,579. So again, your agenda is correct, and the correct difference is $5,883,273. So again, we've corrected the slide just now. Your agendas are right. So for item 9C, this is a pavement preservation project. It's actually a diamond grind project on State Route 51 from I-10 to Shea Boulevard. We do have a low bid of $17,845,579 with the difference of 24% under. So we did speak with the apparent low bidder on this project, and he explained that they are a specialized contractor for the scope of work, and they plan to self-perform the majority of the work using their own equipment. And so they also plan to run multiple shifts at the same time. And so therefore what that did is the contractor was able to provide really better pricing than what we had estimated in our estimate. There were 2 bidders on this project, and we received a protest from the second bidder. You received a synopsis in your packet and associated correspondence in the packet as well. Upon review of the protest letter, the department determined the bid protest should be denied for failure to meet ADOT standard specifications for road and bridge construction. And essentially, the protest was not received in a timely manner. It's required, the protest was not received within the required 7 calendar days after opening is what they had. And it was provided, I think, on day 10. Additionally, the protester failed to send a copy of the protest letter to all of the bidders. At the same time, it was sent to the state engineer. So it is the responsibility of the bidder to provide a successful submission of its electronic bid prior to the time specified for the submission of bids. The bidder agrees that the department bears no liability resulting from the bidder's failure to successfully submit an electronic bid. So after review of the protest letter and review and analysis of the low bid, the bid was determined to be responsive and the bidder is responsible, and we recommend the award to Emery Sapp & Sons, Inc.
Thank you, I appreciate, Audra going through that because, again, sometimes the protests are unique and unusual. This one, obviously, the bidder submitted, the protester submitted a bid, as I understood it, with knowingly inaccurate, a high bid to make sure all their systems were working, and then when it came down to it, they ran into some technical difficulties as well. And I'm not saying we should not take the recommendation because I'm shortly here, I'll be supporting it. How often, or with the AASHTO system, do we experience problems with people submitting bids?
I asked staff, someone who's been here for a very long time, and they couldn't recall this happening before.
All right, thank you.
It's rare, yes.
I do think it's important that we log any failures of any of our systems, just because of this type of question that might come up. It's lovely to be able to rely on historical reference from somebody who's been here for a long time, but people retire.
Yeah, as you all know, ADOT with the culture we have right now is very continuous, or we're always looking at continuous improvement on our things, and so sometimes when we run these processes, things might not go so smoothly, and we do go back and look at those processes and try to make sure that we understand what happened and try to make things not preventable and more efficient in the future. So yes.
Madam Chair, in that case, I'll go ahead and move that we award items 9A through 9G and 9I through 9L as recommended.
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Maxwell and a second by Board Member Hermosillo. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Would you like to go through 9H? 9N for us, Audra?
9H. So number 9H is a system enhancement project from the town of Gilbert for the half mile of Muse Road east of Higley. The work consists of, for those curious, paving a gravel road, which I thought was interesting, constructing a drainage channel, plus some water line and sewer line extension work. We have a low bid of $2,882,974, over the state estimate by $703,127. We recommend postponement of this item. The town of Gilbert is evaluating their funds for the additional costs, and so we would like to give them time to work through those processes.
Is there a motion? 9H?
Madam Chair, I move we postpone 9H.
I'll second. We have a motion by Vice Chair Maxwell and a second by Board Member Howard. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. And 9M.
Sure. So moving on to 9M, as in Mary. Looks like we have the right slide. This is a roadway project in Yuma County. It is a local project, and we have a low bid of $1,299,695. It's under the state estimate by $112,114. We did bring this one to the board last month, where the project was postponed to allow for the review process to take place. I believe Greg brought it to you last month. And so the review process has since been completed, and the contractor was notified of his failure to submit the required bidder documentation, something we call the bidders list. At the same time the contractor was notified of that, he was notified of 3 things. One was failure to submit deems them to be non-responsible and therefore ineligible for award of the contract per our contract specifications. We gave them the right to protest with a 7-day calendar deadline of December 1st, which was communicated to them, and notice that the project will be placed on the December 19th board meeting. We have not received the required documentation or a protest. There was only one bidder. So the sole bid was determined to be unresponsive, and we reject the rejection of the bid.
Thank you. Any questions for Audra? All right, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, move to reject item 9M.
Second. I have a motion by Board Member Brocker and a second by Board Member Howard. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And last but not least, we'll move to 9N.
Sure. So next we have item 9N. It is a City of Apache Junction project on Old Highway from Idaho Road to Goldfield Road. The work consists of constructing new sidewalks, ramps, box culvert extensions, and some other related work. As you recall, this project was discussed as well as our November board meeting, where the board made a motion to postpone the project and refer to the state engineer to hold a hearing. That hearing was held. The recommendation was to award the project to the second lowest bidder. And today I have ADOT Deputy Director Stacy Gillian, who was appointed to serve as Mr. Byers' designee for the hearing. And I'd like to ask Stacy to come up at this time to address this item with you and any questions you may have. Thanks.
Welcome, Stacy.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members. I'm Stacy Guillen, Deputy Director at ADOT. We held the hearing last Thursday after receiving written briefs from both parties and oral arguments from DBA, who is the second lowest bidder, and the department. And after hearing all of that, my recommendation is to make the award to the second lowest bidder, DBA, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Stacy, any questions from the board on the recommendation? Okay.
One follow-up, and you did say you received letters and comments from both the lowest bidder as well as the second lowest bidder in this decision-making process.
Madam Chair, Board Member Maxwell, yes. So Clyde, who is the lowest bidder, for ease of keeping them, I will call them Clyde and DBA. Clyde, who is the lowest bidder, did submit a written memo to me prior to the hearing. They asked to not attend the hearing and let their memorandum stand in place of their oral argument. So they did not attend, but they did submit their written brief. And then DBA, who was the second lowest bidder, submitted a brief as well as did attend the hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, is there a motion to award 9N to DBA Construction?
Madam Chair, I move we award item 9N as presented.
Chair, I'll second that, and I'd also like to thank the staff for going through this process.
Of course, thank you.
We have a motion by Board Member Howard and a second by Vice Chair Maxwell. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That completes agenda item.
Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. That completes agenda item 9 in its entirety, and we will move to agenda item 10, our 2026 board meeting and public hearing dates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What you have in front of you are the dates and locations that have been coordinated with based upon the input from the incoming chair, board member, Vice Chair Maxwell, but an incoming chair for next year. I've contacted all those locations and we're in the process of finalizing the coordination dates. So those locations are good, the dates are good, and at this point I would ask the board to adopt those dates and locations for 2026.
Any comments or questions from the board that they can direct at Vice Chair Maxwell?
No, I want to thank everybody for giving me the input to where they'd like to see them in their districts. I think it's really important. I do also believe it's important for us to get out and change up the locations we come to, especially when we're departing the two more metropolitan areas. So it's a great opportunity to see people, meet people, and more importantly, drive on those roads. Or, in my case, a couple of times next year, it's going to be flying into their airports, as we have that responsibility as well.
I would imagine the aerial view is helpful as well. That's good. All right, is there a motion to approve the 2026 board meeting and public hearing dates and locations as modified?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the locations of the meetings.
You have a motion by Board Member Brecker and a second by Board Member Pashlikai. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Moves us to agenda item 11, our state transportation board policies. There's been extensive work done on these. Floyd or Director Toth, do you have anything to guide us on?
Madam Chair, I would like to start, and I do want to reiterate what you just said. This is something the board adopts every other year. It's in statute to review their policies, either update them or just reaffirm them. And I will say in the years that I've been working with the board, from the time I was a state engineer, 2008 till now, I've had different roles. But this is the most extensive review and editing that has been done to those policies. So I will say kudos to the board. I'll say special thanks to the staff that has responded to most of those and have been able to glean through and by God, I'll tell you, wordsmith some of that stuff, which was starting to drive me nuts. Aren't you just saying the same thing, but you're saying it in reverse order? But anyway, okay.
We were modernizing the language,
yeah.
Floyd.
But I will tell you, it is. This is, what we have in front of you now has been reformatted and has been updated, and I believe it is the most comprehensive look at establishing the vision, kind of the direction that the board is looking at, and then the guidance that it's providing to the department. So kudos to you all for that.
Thank you, Floyd. I do want to pay a special debt of gratitude to Board Member Maxwell, who I know worked long and hard on the vision statement in order to make some adjustments there. And I know everyone contributed substantially to it. I got the PDF version yesterday, Floyd. There are just a few formatting and grammatical adjustments that I think need to be made. It makes me think of that. I know my mom was an English teacher, so let's talk about that for a second, but PTSD. It makes me think of that meme that has gone around that says, I quit, I'm not drinking till December or something, and then they move the period and it's like, no, I'm drinking all of the month of December instead. So the periods and the exclamation points and the capitalization does matter for content. And so if the board would indulge me, I've just marked up my most recent copy because it wasn't a Word document. There's nothing substantial. It is literally spaces, fonts, things like that for consistency. So I will turn this over to Floyd at the end of the meeting, but if you would indulge me on invoking my mother in production of the grammatical changes. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just like to make one comment. We appreciate the folks that come and speak to us. That's the most important thing we do is it's the input from not only the elected officials when we travel around the state, but also from the citizens. But I would tell you, it's a good idea to take a look at this because the first time I think we saw it, we went, that's interesting. There's a lot of things in here that kind of do describe what our role is, especially since, the ADOT works directly for the governor. We're the board, we've got responsibilities that outlines them. But my favorite page remains page 8, because it's the one that talks about the commitments of what Arizona State Transportation Board is committed to do. And particularly I like number 13, the advocating for legislation that helps ADOT and Board achieve the best transportation system for the citizens of the state. And I think that's what we try to do up here. That's what we continue to strive for. And I think you're going to see, you've got a board that I think is probably, as Floyd pointed out, and not only doing this overview, we're also ready to step in because we feel really strongly that the state of Arizona is an incredible place to live. We're growing, we've got flourishing communities, and we need to have an infrastructure base to back it up. So I want to thank you for all the work, Floyd, and the rest of the staff. And Madam Chair, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and move this with your grammatical corrections for approval by the board.
I have a motion. Thank you, Board Member Hermosillo. My mom will be proud. Yes.
I also wanted to thank staff because I know I've gone back and forth with staff several times on a few items. So thank you very much for your patience with me and working through this stuff.
Appreciate that, Board Member Brecker. And to the entire board, I didn't even really know that we were voting on board policies my first time that I got to vote on this. The second time I tried to make changes from the dais on the day that we were voting on it, and Floyd very gently said, you know, we can review this at a later date and make sure that we're doing it right. And so this time around was my last and final opportunity to weigh in. So thanks for letting me leave that maybe as my mark for the last 6 years.
Good job, Madam Chair.
If I may,
Please.
I urge the board to keep these policies at their right hand and evaluate and update them throughout the next 2 years. And I think it will just give us more time. So many times policies get stuck in a drawer until something comes up and you need to look at them. But I urge us to bring them with us, work with them. It helps a lot when the updates come as well, versus trying to cram in the moment. So thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks to staff.
Perfect. We have a motion by Board Member Brecker. No, Board Member Maxwell, and a second by Board Member Hermosillo. All in favor of adopting the State Transportation Board policies, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right, we will move to agenda item 12. This is the shifting? Shifting? You know, I can just pass things.
Well, it's a little bit more formal than that, but it is a time where, unfortunately, every 6 years well, unfortunately for us, because it means we get a turnover after we get very comfortable finally working with a board member and all of a sudden their term is up. Now, the board member may think different, like, finally, my 6 years is up. But for us, it just means that we end up having to lose somebody that we've built some time with and that we've actually gotten, to me, in this case, very comfortable dealing with their efforts within the board. And Madam Chair, has already been pointed out by the policies, you've been a guiding hand and a driving force in making sure that this board is relevant, is current, and is taking actions and actually doing something. So I would give kudos to that, and it is coming down. Your term is up in January. What we're proposing here today, obviously, is designating a new chair and vice chair moving forward, and there are statutory rules within that. So the chair will go to the person who's in their final year, in this case, Board Member Maxwell. The vice chair will be the person who's in their final 2 years. In this case, that would be Board Member Howard, unless they choose not to accept those positions. So I know there's been a time in the past where one board member was upset with others and wanted to change it, but you can't. It's in statute unless they decide not to accept that role. So what I'm proposing here is, again, is part of the leadership adjustment, is that for 2026, Board Member Maxwell will be chair, and Board Member Howard will be vice chair.
All right, we do need a motion for that.
Madam Chair, so moved.
We have a motion by Board Member Brecker and a second by Board Member Pashlikai. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And no one is opposed to that, I already know. That will especially me. All right, congratulations, Chair Maxwell. I'm excited for your leadership.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and I will tell you, Jen, it's been amazing to work the last several years with you, both on the board and in the community. Your dedication to trying to improve the region and the state as a whole is remarkable, but so much, you've got a really a love and a focus on infrastructure. I know you're going to continue to be potentially standing on that side, telling us what we have to do to correct what we haven't gotten to yet. But I want to just thank you for all that. And I believe we've got an item later where we'll formally say goodbye. That's my only comments, and I look forward to working with everybody, including the public and the legislature.
Perfect. The meeting's yours now.
Oh, well.
You're the chair.
In that case, Vice Chair Howard, do you have any comments that you would like to make as part of the meeting?
I would. I'm looking very forward to serving along with you next year, Chair. And I'm going to miss you, Jen. The 2 Jens, we were forced to be reckoned with. 3 Jens, yeah, 3 Jens. You've been a great mentor and a great person to work alongside. You're a superwoman. I have learned that, both in the public sector, private sector, and in service. And I admire you and truly appreciate you. Thank you very much.
And the beauty of environment like this is you get to make friends with people that otherwise you may not have crossed paths with. And not only have I enjoyed working with each of you, but very much enjoyed getting to know you on a personal level as well, and just very much appreciate all the work that you do and continue to do. And it is a huge sacrifice for many of these people who own businesses and have full-time jobs and are serving on many, many boards and commissions and committees and may even be running for office someday. And so I just very much appreciate each of you and the continued effort that you make to serve the state. It's inspiring, and I will be cheering you on virtually.
We still have your number, so that's good. I'm going to skip item 13, which is recognition of our outgoing chair. I want to go to 14, so that the last thing we get to hear today will be maybe some other closing remarks that Jen may have. Does anybody have any other suggestions? And Christine, I'm serious about one of my suggestions. I would like the presentation you've given multiple times in multiple different environments. I'd like to do that at either the January, not you, the new CFO and the assistant CFO or the deputy CFO, to prove that they understand it. But I think it's good to set it because I've said we're going to do some engagement with the legislature on trying to address this. And the best part is we've got people. Neil Carter and I have had a great conversation about it. The challenge we have with the legislature is they all have figured there's different ways to fund it. They all agree that we need more money in infrastructure. So we're going to figure something out along that front. So does anybody have any other suggestions for any meeting topics or any upcoming years? Remember, we have a study session in February.
Chairman Maxwell.
Member Breger.
I'm not sure if it's part of a meeting or if it's a meeting in itself. I think one of the big frustrations when on the board and also with the people who deal with the board, they don't understand the federal rules on getting a project completed and what the engineers have to comply with as they go through that. So I was wondering if we could have a study session that would have the staff talk to us and explain to us what these things are. So when people come to us and say, why is my project taking so long? Or why is the community project taking so long? We would be able to answer that question.
I think that's a great addition, and Floyd, if we could take note of that, is trying to get us better engaged on how the federal rules and the other things that cause some of the projects to go fairly quickly and some to take more time.
Yes, sir. Actually, we help train our people with the project development process, and what we'll do is we'll bring that in to here, but we'll tailor it down a little bit from them as doers to more of here's the policy and the regulation requirements behind it for the board and for the public. Absolutely, we can do that.
And I wish you could take credit for that idea, but that was part of the conversation I was having with Mrs. Howard last night as we were both commuting up here.
See, they already know they're having their own individual meetings. It's going to be a long year for me, I can already tell.
There were only 2 of us on the call.
I was just going to say, what can you can't have that conversation. Michelle's here. Let's not be having that conversation.
That's great. So we're going to go back. Any other suggestions from the board? All right, we're going to go back to item 13. I think we kind of jumped ahead of it a little bit, and I started that by telling former Chair Daniels what I thought of her vote. It's a 6-year commitment for anybody that comes on this board. I think we're all passionate about it. We all enjoy it. having been a former elected official yourself, you brought a lot of what I call straight talents to how to run a tight meeting. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how am I going to talk to for another hour and 30 minutes because I don't want your last meeting to be the shortest one on record. But you've really created a lot of you've showed me a lot of ways that our meetings can be tight, still be thorough, and still say enough so that the public and the members that, or the folks that have come and joined us understand our decision-making process. And they see how it goes through. It also puts a lot on us, and has, and it's probably changed my way of preparation on being prepared when we walk into this board. So I really want to appreciate, to say thank you for all that. Before I turn it over to the other members of the board, as is tradition, we've all pitched in and gotten you a few items to say thank you for all your hard work. This is, figure out what's in that bag.
I can help you with that one.
Very excited. I know. Where are you going to be tonight?
Very nice. And this is a token of our appreciation that will hopefully give you some reason. You don't need a pen because you don't need to sign your own card. So we greatly appreciate it. Any of the other board members wish to comment or not say goodbye, but say thank you?
Chair. Thank you. I really appreciated working with you. You're a great chairwoman. And I still feel pretty new. And I feel like almost every month people are leaving and retiring. So I'm getting really anxious about the time when I'm going to be sitting up here alone. But I've learned a lot from you, and I wish you well as you move forward. Thank you. Yeah.
The sheep herding opportunity
Yes,
available
yes.
for me too. I'm jealous when she got offered it.
Chair, I would like to also comment.
Member Hermosillo.
Yeah, so many mayor may not know that I actually met Jen when I became a brand new mayor, and Jen embraced me right away. I've looked up to her since. She's been an incredible mentor and person of inspiration. I admire you, Jen, so deeply and respect you tremendously. And I know this is not going to be the last time that we see each other or work with each other. However, I deeply thank you for everything that you've lent to me professionally and personally, and just look forward to your next chapter. And I'm here to always support you along the way. But thank you so much for your service and your leadership.
Thank you, Mayor. You were a fantastic addition to the board. I was thrilled when they announced you.
So, Mr. Chair, the department does have a few comments and recognitions that the director would have as well, if you're ready for that.
We are ready to move on though, but she thinks she's not going to open this thing before she leaves, but she's going to. So we're not letting her get away. So, Director Toth.
I'm going to come down here so I can actually see you as I'm speaking. We would like to take this moment to recognize you. Chair Daniels, you were appointed in March of 2020, which the world turned over during that time period. A whole new way of doing meetings and relating to the public during those meetings. So you helped us through those years and continue to advocate for better public engagement, and we really appreciate that and that push and helping us to better connect with the public as well. So during your time on the board, you've seen the IIJA extension and probably the largest programs that we've had over the time period. You were a strong proponent for Prop 400 and worked with many local agencies, and a number of those projects have come to fruition. You were there at the South Mountain ribbon cutting and the Broadway curve improvement project, and we just finished the I-17 flex lanes as well under your guidance, and are continuing to work on that I-10 corridor between Phoenix and Tucson. So you've been a tremendous advocate for transportation, and I personally just want to say thank you for everything that you have been able to provide, and the push that you have pushed the department at many times is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
We just got a few commemorative gifts that the director will hand out there to all. So the one is a certificate of appreciation signed by the director and all the board members. We have a nice novelty gift with its commemorative copper license plate that the board member gets to choose, and Ms. Daniels has chosen her name on the plate. We have a 8-out pen and pencil set, commemorative, so I don't know if you ever want to use it again or not.
Use it every day.
Yeah. Okay. And then another gift we provide is something from the Arizona Highway Magazine, and in this case, Ms. Daniels has asked for a subscription, so you receive a subscription, which I was told will start January. Hopefully it does, but the Arizona Highway Magazine.
And I'd like the staff and everybody to stay around too for at least a couple commemorative pictures after we adjourn. Well, she'd rather speak first, low key. All right, so at this point, I said I wanted to close with her remarks, so I'm going to immediately adjourn this meeting after her remarks are over. And Jen, it's all yours.
Thank you, appreciate that. And I like going back to my first name. It's fun. When I came into this position, I came on the heels of Jack Sellers, who is an absolutely beloved member of the state of, a citizen in the state of Arizona, and has contributed greatly and continues to contribute in a tremendous number of ways. His advocacy for infrastructure in our state is unmatched as far as I'm concerned, and so I felt the weight of that mantle, I think, very much in following in his footsteps. And I think everybody knows, but I still have 2 teenagers at home, and so getting to board meetings in remote parts of the state hasn't always been very easy, so sometimes that required me to skip the Thursday night and come on Friday morning early and make sure that I was getting those teenagers out the door. I still think one of mine will graduate this year, which is exciting. It's the end of, today's the last day of the semester, so there was some gnashing over finals this week. So, but I think we did okay. You mentioned, Director Toth, some of the changes that have occurred over the last 5 years, and beyond just the need for us to engage with the public differently given COVID, and then just the natural changes that have existed in the political world. We also had a tremendous leadership change when you were brought in as the director and appointed by Governor Hobbs, and you are so the right choice for this agency. And I have seen and been able to witness even a shift in attitude from staff and a different, more collaborative approach. I'm thrilled with your listening tours. I think that's just such a fantastic process, and your ability to see an issue or something that arises from so many different angles and then make a choice and a decision based on what is best for the entire state of Arizona is no small task, and I see you doing that on a regular basis, so thank you. Floyd, when we first met, I was really scared of you. I'm not a timid human, but I was like, A, he knows everything, everyone, and has been with ADOT for so many years. Where were you actually in 1991? No, I'm just kidding.
Was that ADOT 91?
No, but I'm happy for you on your retirement. I also am really glad that you're not retiring under my watch and that it's under Ted's instead, because you've been such an important part of the board for so many years. So thank you for your leadership, and I very much appreciate that. We also had the passing of Board Member Knight over the last, last few years, and what a loss that's been for our board, but very grateful for Board Member Racker stepping up and taking that role. But that was also, I think, another sort of shift in us as a board, and has helped me to realize not just the importance of the work, but there is a legacy that's being left behind in the time and energy and effort that we spend, and it makes a huge difference across the entire state. And I was thrilled that they were able to dedicate Highway 93 to Board Member Knight. And a staff member earlier this year pulled me aside after the meeting and said, I want you to know that I've been working with this, working at ADOT for a very, very long time, and I have never seen a board so engaged as this one. And I think that's a huge compliment to each of you and for your willingness to dig into each item and to really understand what's going on and to make sure we're following process and that we're adopting sound policies and engaging in that way, because it provides a predictability in policy making and it provides structure and stability for the state in ways that I think, again, have a lasting impact on how our state operates. And so thank you to each of you for all of the extra time and efforts. I'm very excited, Chair Maxwell, about your leadership, and so glad I have your cell phone number. And Board Vice Chair Howard, you as well. Just the continuity of leadership in both of you, and your style and your willingness to collaborate and communicate with the residents. You were a huge champion for Maricopa and for their efforts, and you did such a great job in bringing that along. And we get a lot of credit for the actual construction projects, and we don't deserve any of that. That really goes to ADOT staff and your field teams and your construction teams and our partners that we have that are doing the construction, the small businesses, small and large businesses that are contributing all over the state to make sure that the system has the type of strength that it needs to support both economic development and the needs of our citizens and businesses. So we shouldn't get any of that credit. In my opinion, that credit really does belong to the people who are doing the work in the field and who are responding to the desperate need for a snowplow or trash and litter pickup, and the people who are sweating it out in certain parts of our state in the hot summer months laying asphalt for us. And so again, there's such nobleness in the work that everyone does, and I very much appreciate that, and have been wanting for 5 years to be able to say it was my last meeting so I could say all these things, these heartfelt things of appreciation for the work that everyone does. With that, I think that I will just end by saying thank you for this incredible opportunity. It was Governor Ducey that appointed me way back when, and I thought it was January of 2020, but March makes sort of sense too. But I do recall not getting a board training for several months because there just wasn't an opportunity to meet in person, and we wanted to make sure I think we had to sit 6 feet apart during that training as it was. But again, thank you to staff. Thank you for indulging me in the numerous questions and desires that I have to contribute. I know that sometimes I can be exhausting, if you will, but I hope that you know that it comes from a place of a deep desire both to understand and to support. So thank you again for this opportunity, and I know this board will continue to do amazing things, and I will be cheering you on. So thank you.
Thank you, Jen. It's your leadership all of you are worried about it. I just learned today she's actually going to attend the next meeting. The next meeting will be held in the city of Maricopa. So all the speakers that showed up today will be able to easy commute for you, but we'll be in the city of Maricopa. Appreciate everybody staying engaged, because remember, this board's doing it for you. And with that, this meeting's adjourned.